And we did it. I think. We're live. Audio. Camera.
Video?
Are we blue? I'm colorblind.
Video.
We did it. No. So, hi, welcome to Pre-Cafe. I'm Olivia. I'm joined by my co-host, Carrie.
Yes.
I feel like that's the energy I'm bringing into today.
I feel like out of the two of us, you probably have more Carrie. You're a Carrie and I'm an Olivia.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that as a huge compliment. So I'm totally down for that. I will gladly be Carrie.
Like, the what character are you on the cafe?
Answer these like 6 questions and it figures out which co-host or which host you are. I'm actually down for
Just
that.
like, ooh, you're actually a Ben and Clayton.
Ooh. Yeah, you're not allowed to be on the cafe. Sorry, we'll go ahead and take you off.
Well, I think me and Ben were talking about a little earlier. We are both running low on our caffeine already because we have crippling caffeine addictions.
Yeah, it's 9:57 and I'm already too low on the register for how much caffeine I've had today. So.
Well, I had a problem that Ben tried to help me solve, that I was taking caffeine pills in the morning like they were vitamins.
Mm-hmm. They are a vitamin, apparently.
It's vitamin C, and I got confused. The instructions weren't clear, so I got caffeine because that's what I prefer.
That's what C stands for.
But my caffeine intake was extremely high, and I thought, you know what? I probably shouldn't do that anymore. So once that stopped, I kind of switched over to more of those like Crystal Light flavor water packet
Like
things.
Mios or something like that.
Yeah. And I just been like drinking those like first thing in the morning when I'm getting ready with my daughter. And it's almost 10 o'clock. And I was like, it's about time for some more caffeine. Like, I'm
currently crashing.
Yeah.
You're just throughout the episode, you're just gonna see me slowly slink back into this chair.
Well, we're all like, this whole office is just crazy about energy drinks.
True.
And I had been away from them for so long. But with that drastic drop of caffeine, with not having a caffeine pill, I'm back in the world of energy drinks. But I feel like a safe trade. I was doing both before. Now it's just
I was
energy drinks.
chasing the caffeine pill with an energy drink.
Look.
It's all just like it's moderation, you know. Like,
And there was zero moderation on my part.
But that, I mean, like I like to think that I try to live a relatively healthy life.
Yeah.
And so I still enjoy an energy drink. It's just a matter of drinking them early enough in the day. That way the caffeine has the ability to like work out of your system. So.
And we drink lots of water
Here it's product placement. Oh, I gotta fix my lid. Wait.
Wrong side.
Yep, there.
Yeah.
Like the Truman Show.
Just what? Oh.
Just a casual pause in the middle of nowhere. But today, here, obviously you're not joined by your traditional host here, Olivia and Carrie. It is Ben and Clayton here, a little cafe takeover. We're in our pre-chat hours, and by hours, I mean it is the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started here relatively soon. One thing we wanted to mention that you guys probably saw recently on an SMS page, if you follow those at all, that we actually recently, speaking of health, I guess, in a way, we both did the polar plunge recently.
Yeah, that was a great time. Just a quick charity thing me and Ben and a few other people in our office did for the Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. It was, 40-something degrees in the water, and I think it was 30-something outside with rain. So it was very cold, but it's always a good time. Little hoodie action from the...
It's cold today. It really is.
But it was a good time. We dressed up as gnomes this year.
We did.
I was a Cardinals gnome. I just wore all Cardinal stuff. Ben was a legit gnome, the king of the gnomes.
I spent an amount of money I'm not comfortable with sharing on my gnome costume for the polar plunge. But hey, I was the gnome.
He was the king of the gnomes.
I was the gnome. So it was a really great time.
Yeah.
I think there's like a lot to be said too. Like we'll get into this a little bit later. We've got a couple of like weird topics here that we're going to cover. One of them being just kind of real world application and being events. And I think there's a lot to be said on certain events. And, you know, the Polar Plunge for us was a charity event that we had a lot of fun at. But there's also, a lot of opportunity on the business side, on the agent side, that you can do with events in general, whether they be charity or not. So
For sure.
getting into kind of what today's going to look like, we're calling it Real World Cafe. Taking some of the topics that Carrie and Olivia have advised and informed us on previously, and Clayton and I have the opportunity and the pleasure to actually have some of these conversations with agents that we work with on a day-to-day basis. So we'll hear from Clayton first, kind of about how he's tackling some of the ancillary side, more specifically cancer insurance. And then a little bit later, I'll dive in. I know previously we had a carrier representative cafe, and I've got some really cool stories to share about what some agents are doing, just like yourself, that are doing some really fun things with carrier representatives. So.
Well, you guys know on the Facebook page that me and Ben are on all the time. Also, if you're not on there, go like it now.
True.
We'll prove you right after this.
Mm-hmm. I may even do it right now. So if you see me doing it down.
If you join it, put in the chat. We'll get you approved if you're not on that Facebook page already. It's Cafe Agents. But we take a lot of the stuff that we're talking to our brokers about or that we're talking here in the office about, put it on that page for y'all. And that's exactly what we wanted to do today was we've taken in information from this out office, the cafe specifically. This is something on Tuesdays. Ben and I specifically are on our live chat. We're over there on the computer. So we have the opportunity to watch a lot of this cafe as it's happening. So we wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about what we've taken away from certain things and what we've tried to get out there in the world.
Yeah.
So recently, I've always had a focus on ancillary and cancer production, or wanting our agents to be able to write those products. So I have really dove into that world a lot more and trying to figure out what's missing. On the cafe page, though, a couple weeks ago, we posted a quiz, or not a quiz, but a poll, talking about, do you offer ancillary products? And there was some yeses. I've done it for years. And then there was a few no's, like, no, I just don't know what products to offer.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how to offer. I know why I need to. So we've been working on building a lot of resources and talking to agents about that. And I think the how is the biggest one, is people just don't know how to bring it up, how they're supposed to be offering it to their clients, or how it affects their agency. They get the why. They're salespeople. Y'all know how to sell products.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like I'm not a licensed sales agent, so I don't have maybe the understanding of the how, but I feel like I've had enough, effect. Cancer's had enough of effect on my life to understand that it's a product that I would hope that my agent in my future, or the agent that's helping my dad, or the agent who's helping my family, is at least bringing it up because I know how we've been affected with it. Yeah. So I think, you mentioned a lot of people understand the why, and now it's kind of converting the energy that they used to, present towards understanding the why and shifting that into like, okay, well, now that I have the why, let's go ahead and take away that how hesitancy.
Yeah, because that's a lot of it is. And people will tell me, I was talking to a broker the other day who was saying, I have never offered one of these products. I'm just worried I'm going to stumble my way through it. And I said, okay, that's totally fair. That's a fair concern you're having. I don't want to dismiss that feeling. Tell me about your first Medicare supplement application, or your first Medicare Advantage application.
I love that.
Did it go great? Chances are no.
Yeah. I love that, actually.
Because, think about it. Like, you have to learn that process.
Yeah.
Just like anything else. So it's okay to stumble through it. Just like it was okay for you to start in this industry offering the core products, it's also okay to stumble through. Your upline should be able to help you out if you have any issues with like the application process. But chances are, like, you actually know how to do this, and you just haven't done it. So a few of like our recommendations, like Aetna, Mutual, GTL, carriers like that, it's on the same portal that you're already familiar with.
Oh, that I feel like that alone probably takes a good chunk to be like, well, where do I go?
Yeah.
How do I even write the application?
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit easier, especially if you're an agent who's already writing some supplemental business. And thank you, Madison. I appreciate you. Last week, anyone who tuned in, apparently I turned the girls orange, and I had threatened to turn them blue this week. But since we're here this week, I decided to try to make us look beautiful. So I'm glad that the color looks okay. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
But yeah, I was talking to an agent who was working. It was an agent in Colorado.
Okay.
He had been selling Mutual's cancer plan. And he's shifting to work with Aetna a little bit more. Not super relevant, but he's never worked on the Aetna cancer side.
Interesting.
And I just asked him, okay, so like, have you sold an Aetna Med Sup before? He's yeah, of course. So I'm like, just go to that same portal, pretend like you're going to do a Med Sup. He got there and just went down a little bit, and then boom, cancer's right there. The application process the exact
just
same.
Just scrolled a little bit further down.
Literally, he was right there and was just like, oh, it's just right here? Okay, cool.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I feel like that is comforting. Yeah. For an agent who may not offer one of these products, you know, I think a lot of agents hear about the need, the requirement, the desire to maybe offer these products. And I think maybe offering and hearing some of these other instances where agents are like, hey, I don't do it because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go. I don't know. I've never done it. And then, but hearing like the reverse of that is like, oh, I'm used to that. If I just scroll a little bit further down, then we're absolutely like in the same spot. Yeah. You know, I think that to me, if I were to be in that position, that would offer a lot of comfort to me to know that I'm not the only one in that situation.
For sure. And like I said, I always try to bring it back to tell me about your first experience doing whatever it is that you're selling. You sell PNC, or your PNC and then got into Medicare. Cool. Tell me about your first Medicare appointment.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk to me at all about that and you tell me you don't know how or you're afraid you're going to stumble through, I promise you that question's going to come up of just tell me about that.
I'm for sure going to steal that whenever I'm talking with someone about like a new product introduction. About they're like, well, you know, I'm afraid I'm not going to do it justice. I'm like, okay, but like, what was the first thing you ever sold?
Yeah.
Like,
how'd it go?
Sell me this pen. Like, you know what I mean? Like I love that. That's a really good takeaway.
The fact that you're worried about doing it correctly means you're taking care of the client because you don't want to mess anything up for them. If they want cancer insurance, you want to make sure that you did it correctly, that everything went fine, they get their plan, and there's no hiccups.
Yeah.
So the worry's okay. Your upline, whoever that might be, myself, Ben, anybody can help you out with that process. Just get in there, start doing it. Another example I wanted to give was I was talking to one of our younger agents. He's 19. Love this guy. He's coming down here to visit us. I think not this week. He's 19. Yeah.
Good for him.
And he's breaking into the Medicare world. He wants to tackle it differently. So he's up in like the St. Louis area, I think it is, selling a lot or hearing a lot of ads coming with dental products because that's an easy foot in the door. We always talk about that for people who you don't have a relationship with.
Yeah.
People are always asking about dental. He wants to come at it from offering his community some cancer insurance coverage.
Love that. So use that as the ancillary kind of foot in the door.
Yeah. To then talk about the core product. And just having that interest really piqued my interest, obviously.
Right.
So we've been working with him on strategies, how he's going to do that. And that was part of that Facebook question that I think it was on Friday. I threw it out there of just like, if you had to go get one or two more apps or I'm going to shave your eyebrows off, what are you going to do? And he was like, well, one, don't shave my eyebrows off.
True.
Two, I don't know. And I'm like, well, that's what we're here for. That's what your upline should be helping you out with.
Yeah.
Your carrier reps, whatever that might be to try to help get you in front of more people or strategize about it. So I just love the take of, I'm going to try something different.
Yeah.
And he diving in, I mean, he's 19. He doesn't know what he's getting into. And I love that because his fear factor of doing this is just like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, just figure it out.
And that attitude's so hard to come by, but y'all are great salespeople. You know how to make those sales. If you jump into another market, you've always had this kind of work out for you, or you've been trying to make this work. Keep pushing. That's all I got to do.
And like in the instance of this newer agent who's just getting into the industry, you know, maybe he's only trying to, you know, if I had to sell one or two, but it can apply for a seasoned sales agent as well. If you needed to write one or two more, say you had, you know, a quarter bonus coming to the end and you were on the cusp of increase on the bonus level or whatnot, you know, what could get you one or two more applications? I think being in a state of uncomfortability is only provides more opportunities, especially here in the sales industry. The moment in which you become comfortable, you've almost stopped taking steps.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, like, it's not to say that you can't be assured of yourself and confident, but if you are ever in a point where you can predict exactly what's going to happen every single day, you know what clients are coming in, you know every instance that's coming in. Since that, hopefully some of you are chuckling because that's just not the case. You have people come in and you'll get instances like, I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Exactly. Like, those are words. When I came into the Medicare space, what's Medicare? How do you spell it?
Yeah.
Is it with 2 Y's? And like,
sure.
exactly. So I don't know. I love that mentality of trying to stay uncomfortable, trying to stay in a state of ever adaptability, because we saw over the past 2-3 years, we're only just now getting to normal, how much adaptability was required. So I love that. And if you can take that and apply it to a singular product, a new product, you can always, what is it that Mary always says? What's one thing you're trying to do? What one more thing are you doing today?
Yeah, what's your one more?
Exactly. I love that.
Carson always talked about get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
It's an exercise. It's a muscle you got to work. So keep pushing, keep trying new things, because there's good benefits on the client side, of course. Yes. Like we all see that. But think about how it affects your agency. Something I've been talking to a lot of agents about recently is just looking at how adding another product with somebody affects the retention numbers. I'm not super great with numbers. These ones stuck in my head. I'm almost positive I have these numbers right. So we'll check after. But all right, so if you're only writing a core product, just like your MedSup, MedAdvantage, you're looking, it's a LIMRA study from, I think it was like 2016. So it's a little older of a study, but there's no like updated numbers on this topic. Going over, if you're only writing one product and then not adding anything, over a 5-year span, you can expect to retain 36% of those clients.
So just core products, you on average would retain about a third, 36% of your clients.
So let's do good round numbers. You have 100 clients, you're going to get down to 36 after 5 years.
Gotcha.
And then if you add one more product, and of course, I'm always going to suggest cancer being that one product, works with both sides. We've gone over that a ton recently.
Right.
So I won't dive too much into there. But if you add a core product in cancer insurance, you're looking at close to 56%.
Wow.
It's 56 or 54. Can't remember the exact percentage.
About
half.
Right
so,
about half now.
Right at there, your same amount of work, you've added maybe 10, 15 minutes to your appointment. You've gone from 36 or a third to half.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm going to stop and say, okay, so what would you prefer? Would you rather keep all of, or would you rather have a third of your clients left or half your clients left?
Right.
Obvious answer. And then you go into, if you add an additional product, so you have core plus 2 others, whatever that might be, cancer, hip, cancer, dental, whatever it might look like, you're looking at 92% of your clients over a 5-year span will stay on the books.
Oh my goodness.
Again, I'll pause and say, would you rather have half or 92?
Wow.
Now, we all know that the 100% success rate on this is just impossible.
For sure.
But by not offering it, you're capping your maximum potential. So you could be the best agent in the world. Studies show if you only do one product, you're going to keep about 36% of that business.
And even if you were an outlier in that statistic, I mean, you're still, you could be at 35 to 37, 38.
Yeah.
That's still, only roughly a third of your business that you're retaining. Not only, just imagine the acquisition costs that you're going to have to continue year over year. The lost renewal commissions. We talk a lot about in this business that you really don't start seeing much of your profit from acquisition of clients until year 2, year 3.
Yeah,
and if you were only getting a brand new client every year, you're almost just just trying to stop the bleeding. Yeah. You don't really ever get to really bear the fruit of the labor.
Well, think about it. You want to add, let's say you want to add 20 clients. We just talked about you might lose 70% of your clients.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly trying just to add new folks and you're not trying to retain your people, you're constantly working in the red. Yeah. Like you're constantly trying to catch back up to where you were previously. Yeah. But Ben brought up a really great point about the acquisition cost of this. Something we don't think about, especially us here in the office, of just like how much did it cost you to get that client? Yeah. You could say, well, I'm referral based, Clayton. I don't pay for any of these
Yeah.
people. And like, but you do pay for your office space, right? Or
Right.
your internet, or your phone, or your gas to get there, or your business cards,
Yeah.
or I can keep going on and
Insert
on.
an endless amount of expenses that an agent has.
So you're looking at all these different numbers and you're saying,
Mm.
okay, yes, there is some cost for me to get a new client. But if that is your client and at that appointment you start looking at these other opportunities, your acquisition cost doesn't go up any,
Right.
but your profit margin does.
Mm.
Your commissions go up because you're writing additional products.
Especially
obviously.
after a if you're looking at over multiple years,
Mm-hmm.
your acquisition was the one time that it took to acquire that. But if you have the initial commission, then you have renewal commission, and then if you're adding other products, traditionally those come with commission as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, not only are you benefiting your retention rate, the client's protection package, but you're also getting a little bit of extra coin for the work that you're doing and the protection that you're offering your client.
It's just the whole package. Everybody kind of wins in this scenario. Your clients are getting better coverage. You're keeping your clients. You got loyal people that love you,
Yeah.
want to stick around. And end of the day, this is your all's job. This is what you do. Everyone wants to say, okay, well, how do I go make some more commissions, or how do I make more money? And if that's not the case, some people are just absolutely far removed from commissions. They don't care. They just want to take care of folks. What better way than to offer them additional products that might save them from financial devastation, help them in a time of need if they're going to the hospital, anything like that.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
I think not this coming week, but the next week there's a webinar coming up that I think Carson's doing. He's the actual number guy that will be able to go over these and make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. The last thing I really want to touch on that I've been talking to agents about recently is some of the changes we've seen in the recent years with cancer insurance. So going back a little further, there was a lot of pay for service or
Yes.
pay for anything that you get done. So like your chemo, your radiation, scans, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you'd get reimbursed or get an amount of money if you told them, yes, I made this claim, I got radiation.
Yeah.
A lot of the markets shift to more of that lump sum payment. It's easier to digest for a client of knowing what they're getting.
Yeah.
It's easier for the agent side to say, okay, this is what you're getting, Mr.
Yeah.
Client.
Yeah.
Not undefined number
You
of
might
money.
get this. Yeah.
You could get more on one of those plans.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, there is the opportunity to get more over there.
Right.
But you never know where you're actually at until it's over.
A little bit of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So I know you've mentioned this previously, so that lump sum offers a little bit of structure in a place, in a time where some of the structure that you may have previously had is wavering.
Yeah, I talk about this all the time, but with my cancer diagnosis came a lot of bills that I was prepared for.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of bills I wasn't prepared for or thinking about at all whenever they told me that I had cancer was, okay, well, now we need to go get this doctor in St. Louis, and we're going to be there for a couple days, so hotel stay there. Well, we obviously want to go to the Mayo Clinic and spend some time up there to get everything, like make sure our plan of action is going to work.
Right.
A lot of costs that came up that I was like, I didn't even think of this.
Right.
So
Can
the
only
lump
plan
sum
for so
lets you
much.
kind of play around with that money and
Right.
decide where you want to spend it. But even more so to that point is, remember, I think it was last AEP, with the hospital indemnity changes.
Yeah.
Carriers were going back and forth trying to
Right.
compete for the best one. I feel like if we're not entering that, I don't know what's happening, because I'm seeing more and more changes with either how they pay out, different benefits or different riders that they're putting on these plans to make them more holistic, where you can cover a lot more things with the cancer insurance plan. If that's like specified diseases, heart attack and stroke. I mean, those are pretty standard plans that have been around for a while. But then they're like, okay, well, also we want to make sure if you do get cancer, if it ever comes back, you can start rebuilding some of those with like reoccurrence riders they put on some of these plans. And just all these different changes are very exciting, because I'm constantly looking at like, okay, well, who are we recommending for these?
Yeah.
And those things keep shuffling around right now.
Yeah.
There's a good core. So if you need those, reach out to me, reach out to your upline, whoever it might be, to kind of see what they're recommending these days.
Yeah.
But keep your eye on that market. It's something that carriers are focusing on quite a bit as well.
Without a doubt.
To try to make sure that they've got the top product or some top options. So
Yeah.
a lot of cool changes happening. I could literally talk for another hour and a half about cancer insurance. So happy to have that conversation anytime.
Yeah.
But I know something that you were talking to somebody about recently was working with their carrier reps.
Yes.
There was a cafe on it recently,
Mm-hmm.
and Ben's always been a big proponent of get in front of those people,
Yes.
see how they can help you, just like see how I can help you, see how that carrier rep can help. So I'll shut up for a minute.
No, you're totally fine. I appreciate. I want to come back before I dive into carrier reps. If anyone wants to, feel free to text Olivia as a reminder if you want to have a conversation with either Olivia, with Clayton later. If you're reaching out to your upline and just want some other information, feel free to reach out. This is Olivia's text line. We don't have access to this right now, but feel free to send her like a boo and try to scare her.
Yeah.
She's actually meeting with one of our carriers that we're pretty close with right now, trying to get some inside scoop on what's going to look like over the next year and some changes that hopefully that we can kind of see here in the future as well.
And again, shameless plug, feel free to pop over on our Facebook page, that Medicare Cafe agent group.
Yep.
If you're already on there, pop a question on that page anytime. Pose it to the group, pose it to Ben or I, whatever you might want to do. That's another outlet for you guys. We love those kind of questions that agents throw out there, so don't ever hesitate to put those on there.
We're just two guys. There are so many more people a part of the group that probably have had so many more experiences. So get that agent interaction. We learn from our peers, sometimes more so than we do from experts.
Yeah.
So I highly encourage you guys to throw that. I'll hide the text line for now, just that way. Just as a reminder, we don't have access to that. So if you do send a text to that number, usually Olivia's getting it currently somewhere across the world, and it won't be answered here today. But I wanted to hear in like 30 seconds or so, what is one thing that you would say to an agent who has been repeatedly told over and over again that they should offer ancillary? In 30 seconds, what would be the, maybe like a 2-3 step process for them just to get their toes wet?
Okay. So
putting him on the spot. He didn't come prepped with this at all.
I got this. Okay, so a cafe that we talked about recently was being your own lead vendor. So if somebody wants to get into the ancillary market, the first thing I want to ask them is, who do you want to target? And I know the answer before I ask the question. It's going to be your own book of business. So looking back through the clients that already trust you, you've already established that relationship, and talk to them about these new products that you've been offering. So looking at who that you can go back to and write on one of those products, I think is the first thing. So
step one, go back to your book of business, see people you've already assisted, and reach back out to them, see if you can add a product with them.
Step two, you've got your calendar out. You've got appointments lined up the next week. Start making it a habit. Start offering at every single appointment, regardless of if they take it or not. That, like I said, 100% success rate is just impossible.
Yeah.
We can't be 100% with anything.
But don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourself. I'll say step 3 is sit back and watch people get better coverage, and you make more money for your agency. Something that we look back at is you've started to offer these products. You're going to start getting told no.
Yeah.
That's okay. You will be getting told yes at some point.
Yeah.
So keep pushing, keep offering those products because there's a value in them. If you don't know, holler at me. I will try my best to convince you. But also, like we talked about, maximizing the potential. If I have $3 on the table and here's your core dollar here. Yes, thank you. And this is the one that you're selling that product every single time that you have an appointment. Your closing rate is successful on that one. You get that dollar. There's 2 other dollars on the table here with different ancillary products. Do you want a chance at those dollars? Because you've got this one. You've made your sale, right? You know this person's going to close. Now, do you want a chance at these $2? To do that, you have to offer it. Now, I might only be successful and take this dollar and leave that one on the table. But I just came away with a couple dollars.
You doubled your dollars. You doubled your dollars.
Double dollars.
Double dollars.
So just think about the opportunity that you're missing is the big thing that I would say is the step 3.
That's great.
Step 3, sit back, watch that success rate happen. It's like baseball. right? You fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer. So if you do that as an agent, your closing rate is 30%. That feels pretty nice. You guys might have higher, lower success rates with those ancillary products. Could start off low and get better. So keep working on it. Step 1, work your own book. Step 2, make it a habit that every single person you're talking to knows that you offer it. And then step 3, just keep trying.
Yeah. A no is better than that client coming back and saying, I never knew you offered that product.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to as well. If money and opportunity isn't the way that you speak, you're just trying to help others. If a client tells you, no, I don't want that, it's better than them coming back and saying, hey, I have cancer now. Was there anything that we could have added to my protection plan that would have helped me?
Yeah.
And then you have to break the news saying, yes, I do offer that, but we didn't talk about it.
Exactly.
And that's not a conversation you want to have. Looks like we have a question here from Go Seniors saying, so we can discuss senior insurance at Medicare appointments. So I know Olivia's talked a lot about this. Traditionally here, because cancer insurance isn't on every scope of appointment, it's not always... we always want to side on the side of like safety and caution. And so sometimes it's better to actually set up that secondary appointment for that specific product. Just that way there can't be any cross ties, because it is sometimes looked at as a financial product or because it is a lump sum style. So splitting those up is traditionally our recommendation. I believe there is a carrier scope of appointment out there that does include cancer insurance as a part of the scope of appointments. I can't remember off the top of my head, but relook at the products that you're offering in the pieces of paper, the scopes that you're utilizing as moving forward. So, but an excellent question nonetheless.
Yeah. Medicare supplement, fair game, obviously. Medicare Advantage is what I'm thinking they're talking about as well.
I guess that's what I assumed.
And
Sorry.
the SOA is going to be the issue. Is it's not going to be on all the scopes. Play it safe.
Yes.
Those Medicare Advantage folks should always be getting a phone call follow-up anyway.
Exactly.
And you can schedule that at the end of that appointment. So great question. Definitely offer to your MedSup people from the get-go. Medicare Advantage, you might need to do a follow-up appointment.
Yeah.
But you do have the ability to give them a folder and put some stuff that talks about your agency and what you do on there. I think next week actually is an AMP webinar that will talk about some stuff that's available in there. So
yeah,
definitely go with that.
We've had an agent use like a accordion file all the time, and I think Olivia's mentioned that quite often. That they'll have a part of the accordion folder as each of one of the products that they're able to offer. And during an appointment or so, you may only notice that you only get through 1 or 2 of those folders of the accordion. You only are able to fill those with so many times, and then they have this sense of like, well, my accordion's not full. What can I fill this with? So, and I think the member here that you're asking what the cancer SOA was, Clayton actually just wrote that down. We're gonna go ahead and try to take a look at that. So we'll take a look at that and see what we can find for you.
Wrote that question down for you.
Appreciate you. I'm gonna do a fast version of carrier rep or whatnot and see what we can do. I've got
pins.
You're totally fine. Right by the microphone. So, carrier representatives. Now is the time. We had a recent cafe. We've talked about this for a long, long time. Now is the time to make yourself known to carrier representatives. The reason why is because now the difference between the people that need them now and or want them now and want them later are night and day. Because the people who are wanting them now understand that they've facilitated the relationship when it comes to AEP. Yep. So take the time. If you're nervous or don't know who your carrier representatives are, reach out to your upline. They should be able to, at the very least, provide the contact information for your carrier representative in your area. I know personally I've helped several, probably 2, 3, 4 or 5 off the top of my head, and actually introduce the agent myself to that carrier representative. So I'm giving them a call, I'm sending them an email, introducing this agent, saying, hey, they want to facilitate a better relationship and actually learn from the carrier rep and have the opportunity to do so much more with those representatives moving forward. 2 instances stand out that I want to kind of share and send some light to. And again, I'll be respectful of your guys' time. I know we don't live by any rules. Carrie and Olivia, they may have a deadline. We don't. We're going to go as long as we want. So one of the instances here, agent reached out to us, actually has a bunch of events already scheduled up in their area, a couple of different like VA events, a couple of, I believe it was like, what's the word? Like almost like a farmer's market, but not farmer's market because
Trade show?
it could be a trade show. I don't think that was the word that they used, but basically it was had a tabling event where they were just trying to make themselves known. And it was an event that they were very excited for because years past they've had over 5,000 participants at these events, and so having the opportunity to make their name known at this event was a really had a lot of opportunity to them. They reached out to us and saying, "Hey, I have this envision that at my table I have this wheel that people can come spin, and we love things that spin, whether it's a bingo ball cage, or a fun wheel, and it's just something that's very, very fun and amazing." So they were like, well, I want to have this wheel. And in order to make this wheel really work, I need to have swag, merchandise. That way I can give it away. And I can't afford to buy all the merchandise myself, which like you shouldn't have to do that. No. So one of the carrier representatives or carriers that he has through us, we reached out to. I mean, it was Medico that Mike used to be here all the time. So
shout out Katorna.
Exactly. We send some communications over to their representatives and say, hey, is there anything that we can do? Do you guys have anything extra that you might be able to send this agent? That way he can have your product at his event. At the end of the day, it's a marketing opportunity for the carrier.
Yeah.
But it makes you, as the agent who had that relationship with the carrier representative, you were able to provide more at your table. You were able to, you come off as someone who has professional relationships within the space, and you offer, you get to choose who you offer at the end of the day, who you get appointed with, who you get licensed with. And so having these pieces, in this instance, I think it was like Medico cups, that shows that you're associating yourself with that carrier. And later down the line, if someone who came to your table and you end up mentioning Medico in your appointment later or whatnot, you're like, hey, that offers them another layer of like, Familiarity is exactly the word I was looking for.
Builds that connection really well.
Exactly. And so that's the whole reason we found each other was because of that Medico cup. I would love to have that policy. Yeah. So that alone, he said that changed the structure of his event. That ability to access, those swag items, just something like that, really offered a lot of professionalism to the table that he was a little afraid of previously if he was going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
And so there's so much more, whether that's swag, merchandise. I know a big thing around AEP every year is supplies, whether that's applications. I know some carriers are moving away from paper, but there's still a bunch that still use them. Having those carrier representatives, that way you can see, hey, do you have anything at your guys' local, carrier representative like location or housing unit? Is there anything, if you end up needing something, what better place is there to go than the person who is representative of the carrier you're trying to get the thing for? So, I mean, second to us, obviously, would be maybe my my downfall or whatnot. But like, there's just so much opportunity. Don't leave that. We talked a lot about opportunity today. Don't leave that opportunity off the table. If you're not reaching out to your carrier representatives now to try to have that conversation, you're only limiting yourself with the people that you can reach out to try to get assistance from at a later time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Especially like carriers buy these kind of tchotchkes or swag to give away. They want to give them away. They go to events to give them away. If they have an agent that they're supporting with their product that they're representing, they're going to want to try to help you out with that as well. So don't hesitate to ask for that kind of stuff from your reps. Build the relationships now. So I can call, I'll go back to Mike. I can call Mike, whatever I need, I can try to have him help me out. And you want to be able to pick up that phone, just like you can call your upline and say, hey, I need help with this. Can you assist me? If you're in that moment and need a carrier rep, you want them to already know who you are. So the introduction part is out of the way. It's, I need help with this, or can you tell me specifically what's going on with this? And that's something I love too that we talk about with agents who haven't worked with like FMOs before, is we don't limit your ability to talk to those carrier reps. You're going to be able to call them the exact same way. This is back to my recruiting days. of talking to agents about trying to get contracts with us. Like, well, I have that direct. Be like, well, nothing's going to change there. You can still work with that representative that you love. It's just you'll also have me as your upline to help out, or us, or whoever your agency might be that you work with. So definitely utilize those carrier reps. They'll pay off dividends in the long run.
Yeah. And you even mentioned previously, I think it was, that how a lot of carriers are taking a look at and maybe revamping some of their cancer products or their structures or whatever they're doing because it's something they want to focus on. Carriers, a big thing that carrier reps traditionally do that I'm actually helping an agent with currently is dual special needs plans.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And if you're not doing that market currently, please call someone and have that conversation because it is a severely underrepresented or underserviced market.
For sure.
And I will say, does it require a bit more handholding on times? Yes. But that's why you get with an upline. That's why you have carrier
Representatives.
Thank you. Carrier reps. That's why I was going towards. I was like carrier reps. That way you can ask these questions. You can get those assistants. At the end of the day, it's all about making sure that client is taken care of. So the instance that I'm working on here, literally 2 weeks, she was like, well, you know what? I'd love to have the conversation with these carrier representatives moving forward, what this can look like. Would you mind introducing me? Had the introduction. Within the hour, carrier representatives were having phone call conversations with her about what they can be doing in her area. And she was like, well, I think I want to focus on the DSNP. I have some experience in kind of that area, that industry, some of the outside things that I do from this business, coincide exactly with kind of that demographic in that market. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be another way for me to serve those people. I would love to be able to do that. And so, like I said, within an hour or two of me sending the email and having conversations with carrier reps, they were calling her. They were having full-scale meetings. They were setting up, up other times to kind of plan out some events, some ideas. This past Friday, so with 2 weeks from introduction, last Friday, she had her first event.
Love that.
And I have yet to hear back from her because I think she was, meddling with some other stuff. Obviously, she just had this event and making sure everyone's taken care of. She had some other clients she was taking care of, but I plan on following up with her. So, I would anticipate seeing an update in that probably in the cafe page. But with what it sounded like, it had a lot of opportunity that she was already kind of leaving on the table because she was already servicing that demographic. And now she was just adding another layer to it. So it'll be really exciting to see how that event went and kind of see if there was any fruit that was bared of those labors. And so that's just something that I really, really think is cool. Let's see. At the end of the day, these carrier representatives are put in place to help you.
Yep.
They're put there to make sure that you as an agent succeed. That's really the end of it. And don't be the one that's limiting your own success. Talked a lot about opportunities today. Talked a lot about making sure that you're not your own worst enemy. And so at the end of the day, we're always going to side on education, always going to side on just kind of try it.
Yeah.
And at the very end, if you need that push off the cliff, give us a call, give us a text, whatever it may be. We'll kind of help you get over that hurdle.
Yeah. I like over the hurdle, not off the cliff.
No, I mean,
I get what you're saying.
I speak in extremes. I will push you off a cliff, and the cliff
I'll shave your eyebrows off. Those are the two things.
Exactly.
We're willing to make this work for you.
He shaves eyebrows. I push off cliffs. These are all metaphors. Please don't come after us. But I think that's really it. And I know, like I said, I went pretty fast. I always have a tendency to speak fast. I just get very excited about this stuff. So I'll try to piece together a video that maybe outlines some more of the specifics or kind of the process that we look like that we did for some of the agents that I'm working with personally. Yeah, there's just so much. I think it's known opportunity, but it is untapped.
Yep.
I think a lot of people understand that they have carrier reps, and there's probably instances where the carrier rep in your area may not be as good as some of the ones that may be in other areas or whatnot. But at the very least, they should know your name.
Yep. Exactly.
Because who knows what can happen. We don't know what the
Just try
situation
it.
is. Just try it.
Just try it.
We don't know what the situation is when the client comes through the door. We don't know what opportunity may show itself by, building your professional network. So
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
that's all. I could talk. It won't be about that, but I could just keep talking. So we've also gone a little long here today.
Yeah.
So want to be mindful and respectful of your guys' time. As Clayton has previously mentioned, make sure to join the Facebook group on Facebook. Nailed it. The
Killed it.
Medicare Cafe Agent Facebook group. If you go ahead and request access that, Clayton and I are actually the gatekeepers. Let us know that you joined here today, and we will give you a free pass. The $20 copay will not be collected or whatnot. So really appreciate you guys all sticking in here. But I think that's pretty much it.
That's it. And my brain is blanking on the catchphrase. I remember it, I think.
Well, I'm the carry, so you have to start it.
Crap. Okay. I think it's something to do with Papa John's. Is that right?
Exactly. That's Papa John's for sure.
Have fun.
Make money.
And
give impeccable service. We'll see you guys next
Thanks, guys.
time. Appreciate
You nailed
you.
it.
Hey,
Woo!
we may not be beautiful, but we got it right.
I am.
Okay.